So this ferry drop's a little bit unusual to what we're used to seeing, and it's not because it's not the middle of the night, it's because we're dropping the whole truck off. So instead of bringing him a transfer case or a diff center, steer pump, whatever you're used to seeing me bring him, this time Bullet's going to stay here. There's a few little things we've got to finish off before the run coming up. I'll leave it in Brian's good hands. He's got a week to do it in his own time.
Very slowly getting away. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So this one's for you, Dusty Farmer. We've got some brand new brake lines and we're going to make it pretty. Yep, we've got some new longer ones of these and shorter ones of this and brand new ones of the 80 series front brake hose.
She's been bombed.
Still on the brakes. I wasn't wild about how much slop there was with the short hard line down in here. So we flipped around the fitting up here and we're just machining up some 10mm nipples to just join these hoses directly down here. Hot stuff. Up to about take 5 on the brake hose mountings. Ugh. Finally happy with how this is sitting. So we've retained the 80 series caliper hose and the 80 series axle mount for the hard line, but then we've got a nipple straight into another flexible line up to the factory Hilux line with this mount moved forward about 20 centimeters from the top of the chassis here to inside the shock loop here. So we've picked up a ton of travel. Everything's tucked up neatly out of the way. Wheel can't rub it. You can get the caliper off without worrying about the stupid Hilux hardline. I think we've won. Driver's side brake line sorted out. Heaps of travel. Probably going to put some wrap around this bit where it rubs on the spring there. But it just naturally lays out of the way. I think that's going to be heaps better than what we had going before. Ready to bleed?
Yeah.
Down. Up, down. That's the good stuff. Getting some resistance there?
Yep.
Alright, we'll call that done for that side. Still got plenty of juice in there. Okay, brake lines are finished off. All under control, nice and tidy. Next job is our drag link, which is an 80 series drag link with the left end taken out to 23mm thread. It's a couple of centimeters too short, so what we're going to do is pull the pitman arm off the steering box, center the box up, and then rotate the pitman arm around 1 or 2 splines to claw back a bit of that length. So it'll steer a little bit differently to one side, but I don't think anyone will notice. Given up almost without a fight. Pitman arms off. So I'm going to center the rack by steering all the way left, so that's handy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, just over 4 turns. So we'll come back, it's a quarter, 1, 2, So we're pretty close to centered on the rack there, on the box. We've got the wheels pointing pretty much straight ahead. So now we just need to shorten the drag link and then put the pitman arm on the spot that best fits. So steering box is centered. We've wound the drag link in until we've only got a little bit of thread at each end, so it's still adjustable. Plenty of adjustment both ways. Pitman arm back on the steering box. So we're on full lock left, we're on the steering stop there. Heaps more angle cranking than we could get with the Hilux knuckles with the spacers on. So we'll give it all of right. We're full lock right on the steering stop, which is just insane. It's nuts. Next disaster we've got to sort out is these U-bolts. So the new U-bolts don't have quite as much thread, but we need to use the round section right around the mount here. So I made up these spacers out of an old 80 series Penrite rod to bring them up a bit. So I've measured one up, we know where to cut, so we'll start cutting the new U-bolts. Ready?
Almost.
Does need the wheels back on, but we have sorted out the brake lines, U-bolts, the flip plates and the spacers, steering sorted out. It's all neat and tidy. Nothing can go wrong. Is this where Uncle Denny gets mad? You know why?
Why?
Forgot to video removing the power steering reservoir. There is there. And building the bracket for the new power steering reservoir and the installation and the hoses. So the old hoses that came off were pretty cracked and rotten, and I reckon that they were bleeding a fair bit of air in, and maybe, just maybe, the bigger reservoir will take care of the foaming.
Any regrets?
Let's never speak of this again. Clown mechanic also available for birthday parties. Yeet. It's a lot easier to fill up than the old one. But I've gone too far. Just a little bit in the neck there. Let's start it and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, right? That's a bit disappointing, really, isn't it? Definitely better. 30-second booty fab. Can you smell the barbecue? I'm really hungry. So we've just knocked out a super quick and dirty bracket for the catch can. How's that? Custom?
Yes.
Catch can done.
In Mum's taxi today with an empty car trailer in tow. What's today's adventure? So we'll get some air in the airbags. So the difference with the in-coil ones, the air must go in before the truck goes on the trailer. So we'll go up to 50. The only thing you got to worry about when you're towing with this 2.8, especially in the autos, is that this intercooler hose is tight, because it's on boost that much when you're towing something, especially uphill, that it just basically pops off. And you can see here, I've even got double clamps on that one side that always fails. Now these are genuine Toyota clamps as well. You're not going to get a 79 to turn like that. An absolute pleasure to tow with, an absolute pleasure to drive. The only downside would be the actual weight of the vehicle. So what I'm towing is potentially heavier than the vehicle. Even though we're inside our towing capacity and our GVM, probably the only thing that I like to have in the 79, I like to have the weight on the driving vehicle. And as always, thanks for watching.